Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another deck profile. Today we're going over the Goku Vegeta flip combo deck for set 21. I know this is pretty early compared to when set 21 actually comes out, but I mean, hey, they gave us the reveals this early, right? So if you guys want to try this deck out, here is the list I'm going to be showing you guys that I have been playing this week. Let me tell you guys, this is still very much in the early development stages. I'm just getting a feel for what these cards do. But after a couple days of testing, I wanted to share with you guys because I think there are a lot of different ways to go with this leader. Now, you might be wondering why I call this the combo variant of the deck. Well, I did a Patreon article yesterday talking about how this deck can be played as like a yellow good stuff leader or a combo deck, and that combo revolves around the Z deck Whis and then skipping turn and assembling basically a combination of cards to basically go for game on the skip turn. And that's what this deck is built to do, so I'll explain that in the profile. If you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell to never miss a video. And if you guys do want to help support the channel, if you want to buy the cards you see in today's video or pre-order or buy any trading cards, it really does help me out if you use my link in the description to TCG Player. Alrighty, let's get started. We have the leader, of course. Okay, a couple things with the leader. So as far as I understand, used in a battle basically just means involved in a battle. So yeah, when you attack with your it's not really unawakened. When you attack with your Goku side, you will draw a card, then flip over, and when you are attacked or attack on your Vegeta side, you'll draw a card. So you can see how a lot of times you want to be on your Vegeta side during your opponent's turn and your Goku side during your turn to maximize your draw power. The other thing about the Goku sides, at the end of each turn, you can KO a battle card in rest mode that costs 4 or less. The main deck does not have very much removal, so this actually ends up being kind of an important effect to alleviate pressure from you. But your opponent can actually manipulate what side you end up on, depending on how often they attack your leader and how many attacks they have that can go towards your leader. So your opponent can kind of interact with that in a little bit of a weird way, but still, I mean, that is a very important thing to note. You might want to end up on the Goku side on both turns if your opponent has a lot of board that you need to deal with, right? That's one thing you can do there. So I think that's all I wanted to say about the leader. Let's get on into the main deck. We are playing 2 copies of Bulma Making a Wish. Okay, so this is one of our main combo enablers. We play her, we reduce the cost of the Whis and the Z deck by 2 yellow, so it eventually becomes a 1 cost. Obviously, you factor in the cost from the Bulma itself, that makes it a 2 cost play. Generally, we're looking to assemble this quote-unquote combo by turn 4 or 5. By turn 4 or 5, we're looking to skip turn, and if we pull everything off, our opponent should be dead, right? And the Bulma has a really cool effect too, where she restands a Vegeta, and that's the whole point of the skip turn, is to just abuse as many effect refreshes and attack refreshes as we possibly can. Bulma is one of the really good ways of doing that. I think 2 copies is fine though, because this deck does draw a fair amount of cards, you know, obviously drawing 1 during both players' turns and whatnot. So getting 1 copy of this by turn 4, turn 5, I think is plenty realistic, but maybe it can go to 2 if I end up not seeing it enough. Again, very preliminary build here, but so far I've been seeing it when I need it. Then we have 4 copies of SSB Goku and Vegeta Rivalry. So there's a couple really good things about this card. It counts as Goku and Vegeta, and some of your effects require you to what I'm going to call lock down a Goku or Vegeta. Basically choose a Goku or Vegeta, and they can't restand during your next charge phase. When you're doing the skip turn, you just restand during the main phase, so that doesn't really matter. So this card counts as both. Your leader also counts as whichever side you're on, so you can also choose your leader, and that also gets bypassed by flipping over, so that's also pretty good. But yeah, this card, just a 4 of. It's playable on turn 1 if you need to. Like, you want to maximize your energy in this deck. We're almost playing an aggro deck, but you basically want to spam as many bodies on the board as possible that will restand going into the skip turn. Alright, then we have a bunch of 3 of. So we have 3 copies of Goku Waiting to See, 3 copies of Vegeta Waiting to See, 3 copies of Goku Trial Run, and 3 copies of Vegeta Trial Run. I don't know if there's like a super necessary reason why I'm playing 3 of all of them. Like 4 was way too much. This main deck is 52 cards, so I did not want to play any more than that. These are all searchable by some cards we'll see later, so that feels fine. And I think for different matchups, they're all kind of good. Like if you're playing against a slower deck, you obviously want the 2-drop 10Ks because they take a life and get really big stat buffs. But even if you are up against an aggro deck on your skip turn, these things taking life and just getting you more draws is really solid. So they're just good for that respect. And then the 15Ks, they both draw cards on play. The Goku's dual attack, the Vegeta's critical. So basically, there's just more bodies you can spam. The one kind of annoying thing about Vegeta Trial Run is that he doesn't do any like restanding on the skip turn unless you have the Bulma, and you'd probably honestly rather restand Vegeta waiting to see if you have enough light to do so. So maybe Vegeta trial run is like cut worthy, but so far I have liked the trial run Goku, the waiting to see Vegeta, and the waiting to see Goku. Those cards have all been good. Vegeta trial run maybe the least good of the bunch. Maybe it doesn't necessarily need to be the deck, but I'm just trying them all for now to basically, you know, see what works best on the skip turn. Now we have one copy of Goku versus Golden Frieza Spirit Clash. This is way more of a utility card. Like, this doesn't serve any specific purpose in the deck. I'm just including the one of because it is just basically automatic barrier removal. But yeah, as far as the combo goes, this does not facilitate much. Like, you do get a free play with the activate main there, which is not too bad, but it's really hard to fit the 2 energy into playing this card in the same turn you want to skip turn. So yeah, it's just okay as a one of. 4 copies of Goku and Vegeta Ultimate Duo. I mean, we are playing a deck that wants to put out really cheap threats. This is some of our only removal in the deck, and it's playable on either side of our leader. So yeah, playing 4 copies. Then we have 2 copies of Basil Fatal Rampage. Okay, so this starts a trend with a lot of cards in this deck where basically I want to give Basil dual attack, swing with it once, have it restand, and then skip turn, and now the dual attack is refreshed. So you do at the end of the day get 3 19k attacks out of Basil in the ideal situation. 4 copies of Krillin Super Combo. That means we're not playing Gohan Piccolo SCR. We're playing an even more combo-centric SCR. You'll see in a little bit. We've got 2 copies of SS3 Goku Universe at Stake. Okay, so obviously we have to have a Z battle card in play to play this thing out because we can't possibly play a Z leader with this strategy. But I think it is really good though because you can swing it twice on your pre-skip turn, and then you can restand it for a 3rd swing on your post-skip turn. It's 2 energy play, which pairs nicely with Bulma plus Whis, which means on turn 4, you can pull all this off. Obviously, you can also just wait till turn 5, but if the opportunity to kill your opponent presents itself on turn 4, this can be a pretty good enabler for that. We are playing the 1 copy of Cell Xeno, which is why sometimes the combo kill turn is going to be on turn 5. And yeah, Universe at Stake is a great proponent of that. We have tons of 2-drops in the deck, so making 12 is pretty easy. And yeah, on that turn 5, we do the skip turn whole shenanigans, maybe swing with Universe at Stake 3 times, and then crack into a Cell Xeno. That's ideally going to be the game. I do think Newfound Power is also probably good in this deck, but the cool thing is, I think with this SCR, which might be the correct SCR, I'm not 100% sure on that yet, but if this is the correct SCR, then I think this deck is rather budget for a yellow deck, which is going to be kind of cool. All right, we have 4 copies of Robotic Riposte. Maybe not super budget, but yeah, I mean, we just need ways to not let our opponent do whatever they want with us during their turn, so we got to play the 4 Robotic Riposte. 3 copies of Vegeta Overwhelming Might. This could maybe be a 2 of. I mean, we don't make tons of Z energy in this deck, at least until we absolutely need to, so this card is not always live super early, but again, like, if you have this card in your hand and you're playing against the correct matchup where you need it, then you just got to make Z energy and kind of take those minuses sometimes. 3 copies of Frieza Army Reinforcements, just because it's a great card, but also fuels Robotic Riposte. The 1 copy of Power of a Super Saiyan that we are allowed to play. 3 copies of Tyrannical Blow. I was really struggling to find extra cards to work with Robotic Riposte, but I mean, T-Blow in this format is just really good. Like against yellow, against blue, against some other decks, you do want to be stopping those floodgates. Against ramp, stopping their ramp against Beerus and 21 is great. So yeah, that plus being charged fodder for Riposte makes sense to me. We have 2 copies of Trunks Challenging Dark Empire. Now, full disclosure, this might not be the best Overwhelm for this deck, but it is one that I'm going to be trying out, and it's been okay so far. It's basically in the same line of thinking as Basil Fatal Rampage. So it's 19k dual attack. The auto does absolutely nothing since we're not a Spring Kai time leader. But again, you attack with it the first time on your pre-skip turn, and then on your post-skip turn, you can swing with it 2 more times. And you can also then, I believe, overwhelm on the post-skip turn because it's a new turn. So you overwhelm pre-skip, overwhelm post-skip once you get 6 cards in the drop, which is actually pretty easy with a lot of the cards we play in this deck, especially if you're like cracking into Cell Xeno, maybe doing some other stuff we have in the deck here. So yeah, this is the one I'm trying out. I'm just trying everything that's as cheesy as possible to see if the whole skip turn combo is really worth it. That's basically the whole goal of this deck. Then we have 2 copies of Forest Fire. So this searches out like a lot of the key pieces of the deck. It's why I feel pretty comfortable playing like 3 ofs of a bunch of these guys. This card might not be totally necessary, but it does give us just a little bit more extra card count for Robotic Riposte, which I do quite like. And it, like I said, it finds any of the Gokus and Vegetas that we need for our mid game. Then we have one copy of Vegeta Unceasing Progress and Goku Unceasing Progress. So with these cards, these are totally post-skip turn cards, and they are searchable by Forest Fire, so they're not technically total one-ofs. So basically, once you skip turn, you sacrifice 2 of your energy, 2 for each Goku and Vegeta, which is why I want to wait till turn 4 for the kill turn. And they're basically extra overwhelms. So you play them out. The Goku's a dual attacker, the Vegeta's double striker. They're free plays, they're more aggression, they help you crack into Cell Xeno. These cards just do it all, and they're basically combo enablers of the time skip kill turn, right? And once you're doing all that, you're basically trying to get as many attacks as possible via the waiting to see cards, the trial run cards, which restand when you take a new turn and go to your next main phase. You've got, again, those dual attackers that refresh their dual attack once you go to the following turn, Basil and Trunks. And then we have our free plays, Unceasing Progress and Unceasing Progress Goku. And I feel comfortable playing them at 1-of, again, because we have Forest Fire, so it doesn't feel super inconsistent. But yeah, generally, a turn 4 kill turn will look again like Universe at Stake, followed by Bulma, followed by Whis, then skipping turn, then restanding Universe at Stake for a 3rd swing, and then playing any free plays you could possibly play in the form of the Unceasing Progresses, or a turn 5, basically all that same stuff, and then cracking into Cell Xeno. Let's take a look at the Z deck. We have 1 copy of Surmounting, just in case you ever happen to need it. We have 1 copy of Gamma for those super control-y decks, which I can see this card maybe being a little bit weird to use, because whenever you skip turn, I guess your Floodgate effect is going to fall off, so make sure you kind of use that, I guess, as intelligently as possible. We have the 1 copy of Whis Time Regression. I have not found a time yet where I've needed to skip turn twice. Again, the way I'm playing this deck is really just like all in on that 1 skip turn. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. And so far, it's been doing pretty well, I guess. But yeah, only 1 so far. 1 copy of Goku Finishing Blow. We're still not 100% sure how this card is supposed to work. It definitely needs an errata for that first auto. I'm assuming it means Vegeta from the board goes back to your hand. That's the only thing that kind of makes sense. But yeah, that would be pretty good. It's still a free play from under the Whis after you skip turns, so pretty good. 1 copy of Oolong, just for those extra big finishes. 1 copy of Hercule Rallying Hope. This is the card you'll play on like turn 2 randomly, just to facilitate your Goku Universe at Stake, but for that purpose, it is quite good. And then 1 copy of SS3 Vegeta Terrifying Age of Instruction. I've yet to cast this card, but I mean, having barrier removal for anything in the game as a yellow deck just feels like it should be in there, and I didn't feel like I needed to double up on any of my other Z deck choices. But yeah, that is the deck in its entirety, guys. Again, this is very preliminary. This is also the combo-centric version of the deck. I would not be playing anything too similar to this in the just Goku Vegeta good stuff deck. I'll probably work on that a bit more and then bring a profile to the Patreon or the YouTube channel. But anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think about this. I'm definitely open to suggestions. Let me know what you would change, what you would play differently. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.